I have heard the word Washington come out of the mouths of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle more than I've heard about Albany, more than I've heard about our constituents. We're ignoring the problems that we're creating right here in this chamber. We talk about policies that are coming out of Washington. Let's take a look at what New York has done since 2019, when you've been in charge, where New York stands in comparison to every other state. We have the second highest total tax burden between income, property, and sales tax in the country. Highest individual tax burden in the country. Fourth highest property tax burden in the country. Our residential electricity rates are 50.7% higher than the national average. Commercial electricity rates, 61.6% higher than the national average. Home prices, 27% higher than the national average. Auto insurance, 41% higher than the national average. Child care, 17.6% higher than the national average. We have the second worst business climate in the country. The Tax Foundation ranks us dead last in tax competitiveness. We are number one in outward migration. We've lost 1 million of our residents since 2020. One New Yorker leaves this state for somewhere else every 2 minutes and 23 seconds. And what do we do with this bill today in our chamber? We make it worse. We raise taxes by $5.6 billion. We raise taxes on small businesses. We raise taxes on large businesses. Rather than telling New York City to tighten its belt, we bend the knee to the whims of our socialist mayor, providing direct aid and tax authorizations for another $5.1 billion on top of the taxes that we're already raising. We do nothing about Medicare fraud. Empire Center says that we spent $2.1 billion on non-New Yorkers. 3 million people more are on the rolls than are financially eligible for Medicaid in New York State. We do nothing about NYSERDA. Democrats' radical environmental policies will cost the average New Yorker $4,100 a year. We'll raise the price of a gallon of gas within 5 years by an extra $2.23 a gallon. We do nothing about it. It's ironic to hear my colleagues talking about affordability when in reality, your policies are making the state less affordable. It's great to talk about the hungry and the homeless when your policies are creating more hungry and homeless. Your spending in this budget, when you took charge, we spent $164 billion as a state. This budget will be just a tick under $270 billion, a 61% increase in spending by the state. Inflation is at 2.4%. This year, you're going to raise operating spending by 10.8%. Quadruple the rate of inflation. And at the same time, you ignore policies introduced by this side of the aisle that would actually help the issue. HCRA taxes account for $5 to $6 billion annually. We have a bill by Senator Gallivan that would repeal those taxes and actually save the average family $1,400 on health care premiums per year. No income taxes on overtime by Senator Martins. Senator Weber, a 3-year freeze on property taxes that would save every one of our constituents, every one of our property owners money. Myself, with the single largest tax cut in the history of New York State, which could be paid for by slowing the rate of growth to the same 2% cap that every other municipality lives by, that would save the average taxpayer $5,000 a year. Those solutions you don't touch. It's more taxes, it's more spending, and it's exacerbating the affordability death spiral that the policies of this chamber over the course of the last 8 years have put New York in, and this budget just throttles it up. I'll be voting no.